All right, everyone, get ready because today we are diving deep, deep into the world of software testing.
Ooh, sounds exciting.
It is. But, we're not talking about the old school way of like manually clicking buttons and stuff.
Right.
You guys sent us some really cool stuff about how AI and machine learning are like seriously changing the game here.
Yeah.
And get this, AI that writes its own tests,
Whoa.
learns from its mistakes, and can even predict potential issues before they even pop up.
It really is a huge shift,
Hmm.
moving away from just reacting to bugs after they've already caused problems and moving towards actually, preventing them.
Proactive.
Exactly. And that's what the source material that you sent talks about.
Yeah.
AI, machine learning are really taking center stage in how software gets tested.
Yeah.
And it's leading to some seriously innovative approaches.
So less time spent fixing things after they break and more time actually building awesome new features.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that already. But how does AI even know where to even start looking for problems?
So that's the beauty of machine learning, right? These algorithms are trained on just mountains and mountains of data, like code, user behavior, historical bugs,
Wow.
all to identify the patterns and pinpoint those potential problem areas.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's like having a super meticulous detective working on your code base 24/7.
Okay, that's really amazing. But let's be real. Most of us listening aren't software developers.
Right.
Why should we care about all of this?
Well, it impacts everyone, Think about all the software that you use daily,
It's true.
all the time, every day.
Yeah.
AI-powered testing means fewer glitches, smoother updates, and just a more reliable experience overall.
Right.
And that matters whether you're checking your bank balance, ordering groceries online, or even just using your smart thermostat.
You're right, because all of that stuff can be so frustrating when it doesn't work, right?
It is.
And you mentioned some specific examples too, right, of AI testing.
Yeah.
I'm so curious how companies like Google, IBM, and Netflix are actually using this.
Yeah, so these companies, I mean, they're really at the forefront using AI testing in some seriously innovative ways.
Yeah.
So the source talks about how Google uses AI to test Android apps.
Hmm.
And it's at a scale that would just be impossible for humans.
Really?
Yeah, their system simulates millions of user interactions to uncover bugs that a manual tester might never even find.
Hold on, wait. So they're basically throwing an army of virtual users at these apps.
They basically are. Yeah, it's wild.
Oh my gosh, that's mind-blowing. How
Yeah.
does that even work?
So it's based on a tool called Google Crawl, and it uses machine learning algorithms to crawl through the app, performing actions like taps, swipes, scrolls.
Okay.
And the AI is trained to recognize anything that looks or acts out of place,
Uh-huh.
which would then signal a potential bug,
Wow. Talk about attention to detail.
right?
So what about IBM? What's their approach like?
IBM is all about efficiency. Their AI-powered tool, Rational Test Workbench, it analyzes past testing data to pinpoint the riskiest areas of code.
Hmm.
And so it prioritizes tests, focusing on those areas where bugs are most likely to occur.
So that makes sense. It saves time and
A
resources.
ton, and it leads to a much higher rate of catching those defects really early on.
So it's like AI is streamlining the whole testing process,
Yeah,
making it smarter and more targeted.
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
But what about Netflix? How do they use AI to make their, everyone's favorite streaming service better?
Right, so they have this tool. It's called Chaos Monkey.
What?
Yeah, and it's designed to intentionally disrupt their systems.
Really?
Yeah, it might sound kind of counterintuitive,
Yeah, a little bit.
but the whole goal is to test how the system responds under pressure.
Interesting.
And machine learning algorithms, they analyze the results, and it helps engineers build those more robust and resilient systems that can handle, any kind of unexpected issues.
So they're like deliberately causing chaos to prevent future chaos.
Kind of, yeah. And it seems to be working for them.
It's a bold strategy. I like it. But let's be realistic.
Sure.
Even with all these amazing benefits, there must be some challenges to implementing AI testing, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, no technology is without its hurdles.
Yeah.
The source highlighted a few key challenges, and I think one of the biggest ones is data quality.
Okay. Yeah,
AI algorithms are only as good as the data they're trained on.
that makes sense.
So if the data is inaccurate or incomplete, the results can be unreliable.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
What other challenges should we be aware of?
Well, cost is definitely a factor. Implementing and maintaining these AI testing tools, it can be expensive,
Uh-huh.
especially for smaller companies.
Right.
But it's important to consider those long-term cost savings, right?
Right.
By catching bugs early, companies can avoid those like super costly fixes down the road and release software faster.
So it's like investing in prevention rather than just reacting to problems.
Exactly.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and then there's also, the challenge of the skills gap.
Okay.
As AI testing becomes more, prevalent, we need more professionals who understand both AI and software testing.
So people who can bridge that gap.
Yeah, and finding people with that specialized expertise, it's a challenge.
Yeah, it makes sense why it's such a hot field right now.
It is.
So if any of our listeners are thinking about like a career change,
Right.
this could be it.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember, though, that AI isn't about replacing human testers. It's
Okay.
about augmenting their capabilities.
Yeah.
AI can handle the repetitive, time-consuming task, which frees up the human testers to focus on that more complex and strategic work.
That's a good point. It's collaboration, not replacement.
Exactly.
So we've covered the basics of AI testing, its potential benefits, and some of the challenges.
Yeah.
But what about the future? What's on the horizon for this really exciting field? Well, we'll dive into all of that after a quick break, so don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Before we took a little break, we were talking about the future of AI-powered software testing. And I gotta say, the potential here is, it's huge.
I'm definitely ready to hear more. And before we left off, you mentioned something called self-healing automation.
Right.
It sounded almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
Could you break that down for us a little bit?
Sure. It's actually one of the most promising areas in AI testing.
Okay.
So imagine tests that can just like adapt to code changes, without any human intervention.
Wow.
Yeah. So traditionally, every time the code is updated, testers, they often have to manually update those test scripts as well.
Yeah.
And that is like super time consuming.
Yeah, it sounds like a real bottleneck.
It is a huge bottleneck. It slows down that whole development process.
So how does self-healing automation actually, how does it work?
So it uses these machine learning algorithms to analyze the code and the test scripts at the same time. And when the AI detects a change in the code, it can actually predict how that change might affect the tests
Wow.
and then automatically update them accordingly.
So it's like having an AI assistant that's constantly keeping your tests in sync with the code.
Exactly, yeah.
That's so cool. And then that would free up, human testers to actually focus on other tasks then, right?
Exactly. So instead of spending like hours and hours on, these tedious script updates,
Yeah.
testers can concentrate on things that really require that human intuition and creativity,
Hmm.
like, exploratory testing or usability testing.
Nice.
It allows them to kind of focus on that bigger picture and provide like more strategic input.
That's fascinating. So AI is streamlining the testing process, but also empowering those human testers to take on more strategic roles.
Exactly.
That's a really cool combination.
Yeah, it is.
You also mentioned AI-driven security testing earlier.
Yeah.
And with, cyber attacks becoming more sophisticated,
Right.
this seems like a really critical area.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how AI is actually being used to enhance security?
Yeah. So it's actually becoming like a key weapon in the fight against those cyber threats.
Wow.
So AI-powered tools, they can analyze code for vulnerabilities that traditional methods might miss.
Okay.
And the really impressive part is these tools can learn from past attacks to predict and prevent future ones.
It's learning.
It's constantly learning. So it's like having an AI security guard that's always monitoring your software for any kind of suspicious activity.
That makes me feel a lot better, actually.
Yeah, I think it should.
So can you give us any specific examples of how this actually works in practice?
Yeah, so one area where AI is making a huge impact is in malware detection.
Okay.
So AI algorithms, they can analyze software behavior and identify patterns that indicate malicious intent.
Mhm.
And this is a much more effective approach than those traditional signature-based detections, which can be pretty easily bypassed by new or modified malware.
So it's going beyond just looking for known threats.
Exactly.
And it's actually anticipating new ones.
Exactly.
What other areas of security are kind of benefiting from AI?
Yeah, so penetration testing is another really good example.
Okay.
AI can actually be used to automate those penetration tests, simulating attacks on a system to identify any weak points.
So they're basically using AI to, like, hack their own systems, but in a controlled way.
Exactly.
That's pretty smart.
It's very clever.
We've covered self-healing automation and AI-driven security testing.
Uh-huh.
But we also touched on natural language processing.
NLP.
NLP.
Yeah.
Earlier, can you unpack how that's changing the game in software testing?
Yeah. So NLP is all about like making technology more human-friendly,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So in the context of testing, it means we're getting closer to being able to interact with those testing tools using natural language. It's like we talk to each other.
So instead of writing complex code, I could just tell the AI what I want to test in, like plain English.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So imagine saying something like, hey, AI, check if this feature works properly on mobile devices.
And it just does it.
And the AI just understands and executes the tests.
That's amazing.
And this is a huge step towards making testing more accessible to like a much wider range of people, even those, without coding skills.
That's incredible. It would really democratize the whole testing process.
Yeah, it would.
And bring in like diverse perspectives from across the team.
Absolutely.
Are there any like real world examples of this yet?
Yeah, so we're still kind of in the early stages.
Okay.
But there are tools emerging that allow you to create test cases just by like describing the steps in plain English.
Wow.
And then the AI translates those instructions into executable test scripts.
It's like having a translator between like human language and computer code.
Exactly.
That's really amazing. It opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
As we're, kind of wrapping up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
it's so clear that AI is transforming software testing in some really amazing ways. But with all this talk of, AI kind of taking over, I have to ask,
Yeah.
what does this actually mean for the future of like human testers?
Right.
Are they going to be like replaced by robots?
That's the question that a lot of people have. Yeah.
Right.
But the truth is, AI is not about replacing human intelligence. It's about like augmenting it.
Okay.
The future of software testing really lies in the collaboration between humans and AI.
Yeah.
Because, we each bring unique strengths to the table.
So it's not like humans versus machines.
No.
It's humans like with machines.
Exactly. It's humans with
Yeah,
machine.
like that.
Yeah.
So AI can handle the repetitive, time-consuming tasks,
Right.
but that frees up humans to actually focus on what we do best.
Exactly.
Thinking critically, solving complex problems, and applying creativity to that testing process.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I like that perspective.
Yeah, it is.
It's about leveraging technology to actually empower human ingenuity.
Absolutely.
As we head into the final part of our deep dive, I think it's time to shift gears a little bit
Yeah.
and consider the bigger picture,
Mhm.
How might AI's growing role in software testing actually change the way we build and interact with software, in the years to come?
That's a great question.
Stay tuned as we explore those questions and more.
It's going to be good.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We have been on quite a journey,
We have.
really gone deep into this world of AI-powered software testing.
Uh-huh.
We've explored all the little details,
Right.
all the exciting possibilities on the horizon. But now I think it's time to take a step back
Okay.
and consider the bigger picture,
Mhm.
How might all this bug hunting AI, the self-healing tests, change how we even build and interact with software in the future?
Yeah, we've talked about how AI is like totally revolutionizing the testing process, but its impact, it could go way beyond that, Okay.
Imagine software that's constantly learning and adapting, not just during testing, but throughout its entire life cycle.
Always learning.
Always. Yeah, we could be moving toward the world where software can anticipate our needs, correct its own errors, and even evolve new features based on how we use it.
It's like the software is almost alive,
Right.
constantly evolving and improving. That's a really exciting idea, but how would that actually play out in our daily lives?
Just think about your smartphone.
Yeah.
It's already, pretty smart,
Yeah.
but it still relies on you for instructions, updates, troubleshooting. But with AI, like deeply integrated, your phone could learn your habits, could predict your needs, and like seamlessly adapt to your changing preferences.
Wow.
And then imagine it learning from like the collective experiences of millions of other users too.
So much data.
Yeah, to constantly improve its performance and functionality.
So my phone would be like a super intelligent personal assistant, like always one step ahead of me.
Exactly. That's the idea.
Right.
That's a pretty compelling vision.
Yeah.
But it's not just about phones.
No, it's not just about phones. This could apply to, I mean, like, any software that we interact with, our cars, home appliances, even like the software we use at work.
All of it.
AI has the potential to make, I mean, all of these systems more intuitive, more personalized, and ultimately more human-centric.
More human.
Yeah.
This all sounds incredibly promising.
Yeah.
But I think, as we embrace these possibilities, it's important to, acknowledge any potential concerns.
Sure.
And we've talked about, the importance of data quality, responsible AI development.
Right.
Do these issues become even more critical as AI is like woven more deeply into the software itself?
Absolutely. Yeah. As AI becomes more powerful and pervasive, we need to be like incredibly thoughtful about how we design, develop, and deploy it.
Yeah.
Transparency, accountability, and alignment with human values. It's crucial.
I mean, it's a good reminder that technology should serve humanity, not the other way around.
Exactly.
We need to make sure that we're steering this powerful technology in a direction that actually benefits, like, everyone.
I agree. I mean, it's a collective responsibility. It involves everyone from policymakers and developers to researchers and users.
Right.
Those opening conversations about like the ethical implications of AI, they're essential to ensure we're building a future where technology enhances our lives.
Makes them better.
Yeah, in a positive way.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've gone from, like, the nuts and bolts of, like, how AI is even used in software testing to exploring how it could fundamentally change how we even build and experience software in the years to come. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they kind of navigate this evolving world of AI?
I mean, I think the key takeaway here is that, AI, it is a powerful tool. It has the potential to like really transform so many aspects of our lives. And, by embracing curiosity, continuous learning, and like ethical awareness, we can harness this power to shape a future that benefits everyone.
Well said. A huge thank you to you for joining us and sharing your expertise on this really, really fascinating topic. And to all our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the world of technology. This is The Deep Dive. Signing off.